from your analysis of the table, what do you see here? Let's check. Badr did many things correctly. For example, he divided the model over here according to the expanded form of the two numbers. This is what we're going to write here. So what did the student do correctly? What did he do? Let's write together. He used the expanded form correctly. Now let's check the next question. What do we have? When he wrote the number 206 in the model, what did he do? He wrote 200 and then 60 and then 0. But let's check the other number. What do we have? We have 45 written as 40 and 5. So what do we see? We see that he wrote the number 45 in the expanded form correctly. But the only incorrect thing in the model is what is this number over here. What do I see? This mistake that he made, which is to write 6 in the tens place instead of the ones, made the whole answer get an incorrect sum at the end. So again, what did he do? Instead of writing 6, he wrote this number 60. So the correct solution will be as follows. Let's correct it. So I need to do the following. This will be what, do you remember what we said last time? When we have a 0 in the middle, we write it so that we don't get confused. I'm going to rewrite it over here in a better representation. So the first column is correct. Let's rewrite it. Here I have 200, here I have 40, here I have 5. So I'm going to write and copy the numbers. Here I have 8,000, here I have 1,000. Now what do I do next? Here I will write the 0 because the number is 206, and here I will write the 6. At this point, I'm going to recalculate the product of the pairs that I have. So 0 times anything, this is 0. 0 times anything is still 0. And you need to be extra careful when the 0 comes in the middle. Why? So that you don't repeat the same mistake. So 6 times 40, what is 6 times 4? 6 times 4 is 24, and we have an extra 0. What do I have next? 6 times 5, and the answer is 30. Now the final thing and the final outcome will be as follows. I'm going to add these 4 numbers. So the answer is going to be, instead of this, which is incorrect, the total will be 9,270. And this is the correct the answer. Now we said that the goal of today's lesson is to explain the relationship between the area model multiplication, which we practiced a lot before, and the distributive property of multiplication. This is what we're going to do in the next activity in Build. What is the next activity called? It's called Model of the Distributive Property of Multiplication. Now here we can see a rectangle of 8 rows, and we have 9 columns. So the model represents the product of which two numbers? 8 times 9. What is the multiplication fact of multiplying 8 and 9? The answer is 72. This is the total number of squares in the model. We can result and we can have another way, which is breaking down the 9 into 2 parts. So can I this time divide the 9 into 2 numbers? For example, 5 and 4. So can I divide the number 9 into 5 and 4? Yes. The multiplication sentence will be as follows. 8 times, open a bracket, 5 plus 4. So we will divide the rectangle into 2 smaller parts. A blue one, which represents the multiplication of 8 times 5, which gives me what? What is the answer here? 40. And the other section, which is the orange or the yellow one, it represents the multiplication of 8 times 4. And what is the answer of 8 times 4? We have 32 squares. Now, let's check if our answer will give me the 72. So of course, when I add 40 plus 32, the answer is 72. Again, what did we do? We divided the 9 into 5 plus 4, and we split our product into 2. This is an example of using the distributive property of multiplication. Because we have the multiplication of 8 to two numbers in parentheses or in brackets, which are 5 and 4, we can understand the distributive property of multiplication. How did we do that? We took the number 8 and we multiplied once by 5 and the other time by 4. So the number is split into two parts. The first section here, let me choose another color. This section here is the result of multiplying 8 times 5, and this section here is the result of multiplying 8 times 4. Now, the further we understand, we are going to solve and find the multiplication easier. Now, let us head to the next activity that we have, or the next part. What do we have here? We want to find the product of these two numbers. So, let me take a closer look. If I want to multiply 58 times 42. Now, what do I have? We used the area model before us here, distributed according to the place value of the numbers. So the number 58 is decomposed into 50 plus 8. And the number 42 is decomposed into 40 plus 2. Now, how do we continue? We know we're going to multiply 50 times 40. The answer is 2000. And then we're going to multiply 2 times 50 or 50 times 2 to get 100. And then we move to the next column. And the order doesn't differ. I'm going to start this time from the bottom here. It doesn't differ. So if I multiply 2 times 8, I will get 16. And then 40 times 8, I will get 320. In this way, we filled the table that is already there. Now, we are asked to use the distributive property as follows. Now, to fill in the blanks as the question asks. How do we do that? We multiply in the same way as the area model, but we write the multiplication factors in parentheses or brackets before we calculate the products. Let us do it. What do I see? I see the first product is the result of multiplying which two numbers? This is 50 times 40 or 40 times 50. So the answer of the first product here is what? 2000, which is exactly the same thing. Now let's move on. What do I have next? I can go to 40 times 8. So 40 times 8, and the answer is 320. Now let's continue. What do I have next? Now I filled these two. So I'm asked to multiply a number by 50. I already multiplied with 40, so what is left? We are left with 2 times 50. What is 2 times 50? From the area model, I know it's what? 100. And the last pair is, what do I have? 8 times 2 or 2 times 8. As we said, the order doesn't differ. And the answer is 16. So the result of multiplying all of these and then adding them is going to be our final product, which is 2,436. Now, let's continue the rest. As we know, the order of the equation can change. The result will not change, as I just said. What is the name of this property that I'm talking about? Yes, it's called the commutative property of multiplication.
تقدر تتابع كل دروسك على تطبيق مدرستنا بلس. مدرستنا، المستقبل يبدأ الآن.